Hi, my name is Anita Powell. I was born and raised in Montgomery County, and I'm very passionate about African American history and its preservation.
It all started when her young son asked her a question that caught her off guard.
Well, in 1977, my son George, who was 9 years old at that time, he asked a question, and he was in fourth grade, and he says, "What is slavery?" And I said, "Well, don't you know what slavery is?" He said, "Well, no, it's a class project." So I figured if he didn't know, perhaps his other classmates did not know. So therefore, we needed to put together a program to really explain to them what slavery is.
That question was the catalyst for her first program, The Birth of a People, and she's been going strong ever since.
It's not just blacks that want to know about the history.
Anita Neal Powell believes it's her duty to make sure the stories of the hundreds of historic African American communities here in Montgomery County are preserved. She is committed to documenting the rich history of African Americans here before it disappears.
So we have a lot of history about our black communities. We developed the first African American map of Montgomery County. We take tours of Montgomery County. So we have a program called the Educational Mobile Workshop. And instead of teaching or training folks about our history in a classroom or in between the walls, we would go out to visit those places. Your community history is your community history. We just want to make it a part of Montgomery County and our American history.
As the head of the Lincoln Park Historical Society, she has been interviewing people, gathering information, and archiving it for more than 40 years. She has given tours through the Historical Society that visit old farmlands, the Underground Railroad, and black churches and cemeteries. She says recent legislation passed by the council that protects historic cemeteries from development is a big step in paying her forefathers the respect they deserve.
Our cemeteries, again, tells a lot of stories. It has a lot of history in them.
And before I'd be a slave, I'd be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free.
And one of the things we did when we were collecting the history in the community, we were also collecting history on the cemeteries and the churches. So with Montgomery County moving towards that angle, I think it is totally, absolutely necessary. Because otherwise, you have cemeteries that have overgrown weeds, I guess you would say. You don't even know they exist. But hopefully we will uncover those hidden cemeteries, and we can then put it in the inventory. This is my father.
Displaying the history of the Montgomery County African American experience through an archive is something Powell has been working towards for years.
Baptized at that time in the creek.
She believes this would give all residents the opportunity to explore and understand the role those historic founders played in shaping Montgomery County.
You can't even imagine how much information we've collected over 40 years. But we have nowhere to really share it. We have, we need a place where we can really truly say, this is our library, this is our research center. There's no center for you to visit because it doesn't exist. Does the information exist? Does the data, the information, the historical documents, the artifacts? We have it all.
But in the meantime, she says, she will continue her work teaching about the past in hopes of opening doors for the future.
We had researchers from New York, from North Carolina, just wanting to get information about African Americans in Montgomery County.
Is that you in the middle?
Yep. Why? Because they read about us in the newspaper. They heard about us on television. And they want to get the information because they want to know more about if they're doing a research project for their graduate studies or whatever the case may be. And Montgomery County may have become one of their interest points. So that's what they want to do. So they call us because they've heard of us and because we are publicized, so that we're being promoted. And that's a great thing.
I'd be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free.
I'm Susan Kenedy for County Report This Week.